Hey guys, these are the Sony Gold wireless headset for the PS4, PS4 Pro, and I believe they also work on PC. So this is just going to be a review on these. So let's get started. First off, I believe these are marketed as over-ear headphones. I'm not quite sure. I could be wrong. So I do not know. A quick Google search would tell me. I should have done that before making this video. But immediately they feel sort of like an in-between, they're not quite on-ear headphones, and they're not quite over-ear, like a weird in-between. They're like half and half, so I'm not quite sure. But right off the bat, they're super light. So if you don't like heavy headphones like the Turtle Beach's X800s, those are pretty heavy headphones, but they're really good. These are super light, so you kind of forget that they're on your head, which is cool. As far as how it feels, this is some pretty good pleather. Yeah, I doubt it's real leather. It's probably pleather, plastic leather. It feels all right. So they have that around the band, and they have that on the earmuffs. As far as the cushion goes on the earmuffs, they're not bad at all. But the only problem I really have with these headphones is they feel like a pile of shit. Like I feel like I bought like a pair of headphones off of Amazon for like maybe 20 or 30 bucks, and that's how like the construction feel. They just feel like cheap plastic. But that's not the case when you use them. They sound really good. I believe these go anywhere from 80 to 100 bucks, depending upon if you get them off of Amazon or Target or Best Buy. It's about what they're going for. As far as the sound quality goes, they sound okay. They're decent. They're middle ground. I don't know how else would I put it. And they're priced to be about middle ground. You can buy headsets for 20 bucks. You can buy headsets for 300. So they're kind of towards the middle-ish a bit, which is actually pretty good because price-wise they're on the lower end of the spectrum, but they just feel so damn cheap. So I'm not quite sure why. You don't really adjust too much as far as how much you can move them. But I guess that all depends on if you have a big head or not. The button layout is probably the next flaw it has. I don't know if you can see these, or all the buttons are on the side right here, and they are fucking impossible to mess around with when they're on your actual head. If I were to put these on my head right now, there's just no way in hell I am going to be able to figure out, is this volume control? Is this the EQ setting? Is this mute? How do I turn it on? You just can't fucking tell. And even if you use these for a long period of time, maybe you might be able to like memorize where the buttons are. I managed to do that with the mute button, but everything else is just it's not user friendly. It's not intuitive. It's just crap. Like if you compare them to the Astro A50s, in like 30 seconds, I was able to figure out power, surround sound, EQ settings, and then my volume rocker. Done. Like it does not take a mastermind to figure out that. But these things, I swear to God, it's like a fucking Chinese puzzle trying to figure out where they are. So it's gonna have an off switch and two EQ settings. The first EQ setting is just like a normal gamer like setup, and then number two is more of like a higher pitch one. I just stick with one, but I hate how they I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but this button right here. Okay, fuck, I'm not even gonna try. Off switch is all the way to the right, and then EQ1, EQ2 or towards the left. And I hate that because if I'm on EQ number 2 and I'm trying to switch to 1, if I push it too hard, I skip 1 and go straight to off. I shut my headset off. And vice versa. If it's on off and I want to go to 1, if I push it too hard, I go right to 2. And I can really only manage these buttons when I take my headset off and I'm pressing the buttons myself, which is so frustrating because every other headset I own, I could play with all the buttons while it's on my head. So that's just kind of annoying. And when you're playing with the lights off and it's dark, you can't fucking see any of this shit. I have to like pull out my phone, turn the goddamn flashlight on just so I can fucking find the buttons. And that's just annoying when you're in the middle of like a COD match or something. And it's like you don't want to do that. So they're definitely design flawed, but the best thing going for these things is that how light it is, and the sound isn't bad. It feels like a $20 headset, but it sounds like $100 to $150 headset. So these sound good and they're light. So they're even though I hate on-ear headphones and these feel kind of like on-ear, because it's so light, I don't notice it and it doesn't bother me at all. So I can definitely wear these for hours and hours and hours and be totally fine. Which leads me to the next flaw that it has is the battery life is not that great. Um, you can play like a full day, like a good 6 to like 8 hour session on a full battery and probably be fine, but that's about it. You really need to try. If you're the type of guy who takes your headphones off and throws them in a corner and then expects to put them on your head the next day and have plenty of battery life, you're not. So you can play, or you can use these headsets throughout the whole day, but just you have to remind yourself that every time you're done playing, plug them in and charge them. Because if you don't, then the next day they will die on you. I don't know the exact number. I think they're good for about maybe 8 to 10 hours, maybe. They'll probably get about 8 to 10 hours. But if you play 30 minutes today, 4 hours tomorrow, and 2 hours the next day, you can't just add them up to get 10 before you charge these things, because even when they're sitting there not being used and off the charger, over time the battery kills itself, and it does it pretty quick with these guys. So if you charge it up to full and then you take them off your head and then pick it up the next day, they're going to be fine. You don't have to charge them every single time you take them off. But the point I'm trying to make here is they don't last forever. So charge them when you're not using them if you expect to use them for hours and hours the next day. But other than that, I mean, they feel good on your head, they sound pretty good, and they're really light, but they feel like shit. The plastic feels cheap, the construction feels cheap, the button layout is a fucking disaster. So I paid $100 for these on Amazon. I mean, I would say 40 to 50 bucks is probably what they're about worth. I've bought a pair of Afterglows for about anywhere from 40, 50, or 60 bucks in that area, and those feel much better than these and probably sound about the same. So $100, I don't think they're worth $100. So that's kind of shitty, and especially because they're Sony name brand as well. So I don't know. I don't regret buying them. Actually, I take that back. I do, but only because I caved in and bought Astro A50s for my PlayStation. I just got them for the Xbox, and those were such a good headset, I had to get them again for the PlayStation. So I guess I only regret it because I have a way better headset, but if I only had these, I guess I wouldn't complain, only because they do sound good and they do feel comfortable, and I would just have to tell myself to get these headphones turned on and set up with the volume, game chat rockers, and my EQ settings with the lights on, or just put a flashlight on it and get these set up the way I want them to before I begin gaming. Because if I start gaming and start fucking with the settings, I'm just gonna frustrate myself. They don't really feel like they're gonna break over time. They just feel kind of cheesy. So if you like going with Sony shit, I think they make a platinum, or yeah, I think this is the gold series. I think they make a platinum, which look a lot better and they're probably made a lot better, but those are much more expensive. So if you're in the market to buy a headset for 80 to 100 bucks, which is about where I found these, I would say if you could find some in that area, I'd say go with a different brand. I think Astro makes some A20s that are around 150 bucks, or maybe less than that. Maybe they're around 100. I'm not too sure. I'll probably go with the Astros. But if you ended up with these, you're probably not going to want to like return them. Like I said, the only reason why I regret buying these is because I bought more expensive headphones. But if I was left with these, I guess I would be okay. Just the button thing is what frustrates me the most. But over time, I'll probably memorize where all the buttons are. Then it won't be such a big deal. I managed to do that with the mute button. But other than that, I guess they're not too bad. I just wouldn't pay 100 bucks for them. If I knew what these were, I wouldn't pay 100 bucks. But they're not bad. So that's about it. If you have any questions about these headphones, if I didn't cover something and you're curious and you don't want to buy these just yet because you have a question that needs to be answered, comment and I will let you know. Thank you guys.